Well, hello there. My name is Serena. Welcome to our channel, Make Plant Create. This is the third video installment in our Spring Garden series of 2019. We're taking a tour of the garden to see how things are coming along. So let's go take a look. It's been 3 weeks since we planted the garden, so just like last week, I'll start over on this side and work our way around. Lots of flowers are coming in over here. Sunflowers, I believe some zinnias, maybe some hollyhocks. Not 100% sure. We'll have to wait and see when they start growing exactly what they are. Over here, so we have the cattle panel trellis that's attached to the pergola. I added a little bit of hog wire here because I don't think I even talked about these beans that I have planted here. I have some, I think they're purple string beans, I'm not sure exactly, but they needed a little bit of support coming up, and they really have sprouted up since last week. The tomatoes are coming in pretty nice that I have over here. I came through here and cleaned up the tomatoes, took out the suckers, took out some of these bottom leaves because they were getting a little bushy. I did that a few days ago. The cucumbers are all doing really good. I have 2 of them down here that have actually reached the bottom of the trellis. And I've picked 3 cucumbers off of this plant already. But you can see there's quite a few little baby pickles growing on here. And then just down in front right here, all these flowers are really starting to get established. Pretty certain these are the marigolds. This is not a flower. This is a weed. I don't know exactly what I put through here, but they will soon flower and reveal to us exactly what they are not too long from now. And I was waiting for these plants to get a little more established, especially on this side where I have these root vegetables growing. There's those beans from this side. That eggplant is doing good. But these root vegetables, I have carrots here. These I think are beets or turnips, one or the other. And another little square foot of carrots that are kind of just, I don't know if they got displaced with the watering or I don't know what happened there. But they're not coming in as full as this square foot of carrots is. And then this here is, I think, beets or turnips. I think this is actually the beets, and over here this is the turnips. And these radishes, I came through and thinned these out already last week. And then we've got chives growing right here. But like I was saying earlier, I've been waiting for these plants to fill out a little bit more before I mulch. And I should be getting some hay this week to go on ahead and do hay all through here. I think I'm going to use hay this year for mulch. So this side is pretty lush, pretty nice, pretty weed free. And then coming on over to this corner, the cilantro is nice and full. We've used a lot of cilantro this week, and I've been trimming it from this plant and not so much this plant over here in the tire. Actually, I have trimmed some back from this tire also. We use a lot of cilantro. That's why I planted it. And you know, herbs tend to do a lot better when you trim them back. They are happier with haircuts, as I like to say. And chives coming in nice over here, as well as this dill. I used some of the dill for an Easter dish that I made, some cucumber dill salad. Now up here, got one baby sprout coming in, and I don't know, I put parsley and basil up here, so maybe that's the parsley. But that's the only thing growing over here that I can see. Maybe one other little thing right there. So coming back around the outside of the planting area, last week I thought that my squash had not grown in. So I planted some seeds right here in this square garden, or in this square foot. I planted some seeds right over here in this square foot, which from last week you can see that those seeds are coming in. But I was mistaken, and the squash is actually grown. So these two bigger squash plants are the acorn squash, and now that one is going to be the spaghetti squash that I planted. And these are not going to have enough room here to grow, so I'm probably going to transplant one of these two acorn squash, and maybe even the summer squash once it gets a little bit bigger, down to this other corner that has the paper on it over here. So I don't have anything planted in this section here, but I did transplant one of my other squash plants. I think it'll make it. I don't have any water coming out on this end, so I have to keep hand watering it. That's why I have my watering can right here. But if I can remember to keep it watered, I think it'll come back, because it's got some new growth coming in, and that leaf right there looks really good. But that's one of my squash from over here. This is just yellow summer squash, just your kind of crookneck summer squash, your regular squash. So that was coming up next to this plant. And as you can see, since I removed that one, this squash has really taken off. It's pretty big. I mean, I have small hands, but the leaves are already getting pretty big. And of course, this is my weedy side of the garden. This is kind of my melon patch over here. Those are some kind of flowers that are coming in, but right here, these are honeydew melon, and the same over here is a honeydew melon on this corner. And the cucamelons that I planted right there in that kind of spot right there that's nice and wet, they're not coming up. Well, you know what? Yeah, no, I don't see them. But these nasturtiums are coming in. So I think I'm going to give this little area some more time, maybe a week or two, to see if those cucamelons come in. This will be the second time that I've planted them to try to get them to grow. If they don't come in, then I might move one of those acorn squash in the place of that. And now this back row has gotten pretty filled in as well. These tomatoes are getting nice and bushy. The pepper plants are coming in nicely. Got these marigolds that are starting to flower and fill in. Some more flowers down here. This pepper plant is starting to grow a lot better than it was last week. And this is kind of interesting. This is the pepper plant that I kind of signed off as dead last week. And look, it's got two new little leaves right there. So we'll see if this little plant makes it. And these pepper plants down under here are getting a little overshadowed by these tomatoes. I think I might need to go ahead and put some string trellises down for these tomatoes, because they're kind of drooping over. and I want them to grow upright, so I'll probably do that here in a minute. Lots of flowers growing in over here. Another pepper plant. This pepper plant is getting really tall. It's about 2 feet tall. Some more marigolds, some more peppers. Peppers are starting to fruit. And one other thing is this big eggplant here. I need to watch a video on how to prune this, because to me this little growth right here kind of looks like a sucker that would grow on a tomato that you would pull out. So I don't know if I need to pull that out or not. I think I'll do some reading on that tonight and find out if I need to prune those out or if those need to stay. I don't know. I've never grown an eggplant. This is my first time. So we have a lot of new growth, lots of exciting things happening right now in the garden. It's just 3 weeks old. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited. So let's go on ahead and take a look at the watermelon patch over here. Billy and I were out here doing some tree trimming for the little playground area that we added in back here. And this is kind of like, you know, I feel like I'm airing out my dirty laundry, showing this little section of the garden that is a mad mess. It is a hot mess over here, so that is going to be addressed before too long. Anyhow, when we were over there doing the little playground area for Eli, we trimmed some trees back, and there was a branch that was growing right here. Pretty big branch that was casting quite a bit of shade over onto this watermelon patch. So now that that's trimmed back, I think that these are going to get more sun and hopefully start to grow. These are also organic watermelons planted from organic seed, and from what I've read, the organic seeds tend to take a little bit longer to sprout than just your non-organic seeds. So we do have some watermelon coming in there, and this one's starting to grow, and this one's growing out of the tire now. I think I'm gonna just try to get this one to trail out and onto the ground out here. And when I get the hay that I'm planning on getting, I'm planning on heavily mulching this whole grassy area that's just gonna get overgrown if I don't do something. I mean, even over here around this tire, it's starting to get pretty weedy. And then over here in front of this flower bed and the chicken coop, it's pretty weedy. So that's on my to-do list. And I moved some of my aloes and succulents over here, but I wanted to show you guys this pretty lily that's growing in. Getting some flowers off of those. So there it is, our garden tour for this week. This is the 3rd week after planting. I hope you guys stick around to see the entire process, from all these plants being little seedlings to bearing fruit to making food for us to eat.